When Camelback Resort approached us, they were looking for a fresh new take on their commercials to go along with their new rebrand and website built by their agency Native Digital. The concept was for this character, played by Vince Valentine, to be this bitter ex-vacation of yours who is just heartbroken seeing you have such a great time at Camelback. We loved being able to show off different aspects of the adventures they have there, while also showing our character being completely unimpressed by something that is just objectively exciting and fun.
In this case, we had something that was just fun and different and represented the opportunity to create a really strong point of differentiation for Camelback as opposed to all of the other kinds of things that people could be doing with their vacations.
We developed it a little bit further and presented it to Camelback, and they loved it.
We had to really make sure that everything was nailed down in pre-production, so that way all the logistics during our shoot days went well and nothing ran over and everything just went smoothly.
People interpret things differently, especially words. So having a visual picture, people are being funneled into the same idea that the director and the people on the lead side of client teams has already decided. It tends to make the process go a little bit faster because you're not making new decisions. You've already made the core idea of what you're trying to accomplish.
While Glenn was finishing up the storyboards, I built out the treatment to work together with our department heads to make sure that everyone was on the same page and we all had an understanding of all the different aspects of the shoot. So after some final prep work, it was time to go to the Poconos.
In pre-production, we were able to have a location scout / a light tech scout. What that allowed us to do is see the location, look at the sun direction and the sun path, so we could easily figure out what is needed for the job and have a great plan of attack for when we show up on location. We are shooting on a red Gemini with some Sigma lenses. It's gonna be super clean image, probably throw some pro mist, make it just a little bloomy to accentuate the fun that we're about to have here at Camelback.
So we were able to pull in some vacation style clothes that we had collected, like an old Vegas visor that he had gotten on a vacation, the Hawaiian shirt, an oversized camera that you think about when you think about tourism, and then classic dad socks and shoes.
So we're setting up for the first shot today, and we're gonna have our family walking through, is having a great time, and we have our old vacation character who's gonna be watching from underneath this bucket, and a kid's gonna pull a string, and then he's gonna get all the water dumped on him. So let's see if we can get all our timing right and be a good start.
Great, cut!
Days on set are by far the best days. Because of all the work we did in pre-production, everyone was freed up to be creative, have fun, and do their best work.
Still drop, but then just immediately start to turn and go away.
So today we're using an FPV drone. You see it right here. Small enough to fit in your hand. Really important for scenarios like this because there's a lot of small gaps. It's gonna look really, really great with this platform.
Okay. And then they're gonna drop. Cool. You'll hear them scream beforehand. That's all I can tell you.
How was it?
Fun.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Good job.
The mountain coaster scene. We had only a few hours left before our kiddo talent had to leave. So we really had to pull this off and we had to do it right.
As soon as we get there, we can get Nick up on FPV.
It's glaring sun. We're figuring out what to do with the light.
We're using a leaf blower and to make sure his hat comes off and the book blows by.
We have part of the crew up on top of the mountain lighting a scene. We have part of the crew on the bottom rigging a coaster for a roller coaster ride.
And then all of a sudden we get a call saying, hey, talent's in the coaster. It's time to go. We're setting them up.
All right, we got like 4-ish minutes maybe. What's the over-under on if everything's ready to get this shot?
100%, because that's the only way we do things.
Let's roll us down in camera.
It goes by, everybody's cheering, and it was money. It was one of those moments where the entire crew comes together and everything just works.
Day one really flew by. Vince fell right into character perfectly, and Ron Parson and his family were incredible as our other talent. Everyone was feeling good and ready to take on some ambitious setups on day two.
On day two, we created a campsite for our old vacation character. So we found this beautiful location close to Camelback and built out the entire set.
Not only was all our dialogue being delivered here, but visually we would start and end here, so it had to be a scene with no compromises.
So essentially, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So we're using the light that God gave us. And we're gonna put some mirror boards over here and bounce off some harsh sun and go through some diffusion as his key, and then have another one in the back edging out his head.
Fade it a little bit more. Love it. Keep working.
Next, we all headed out to Camel Beach for by far my favorite shot of the whole campaign.
Chris had this shot that he envisioned with a crash zoom, which means you're on one and you zoom into the other one super fast.
Show me the motion that a crash zoom makes.
Background action. And action. Cut. Great job, everybody. That's a wrap on day two. Great work. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's a wrap on Vince Valentine, everybody. Let's give Vince Valentine a round of applause.
Vince was perfect for this character. He's hilarious, but not too over the top, and we really wanted to strike that balance, and he nailed it.
He's wonderful. His humor was top notch. He was so enjoyable to spend time with, and I just can't picture him in anything else with those clothes now.
You can always tell, I think, on screen when someone is having fun with the role and when someone is excited about bringing that into life. And so Vince really nailed the role and was a perfect fit for who this character could be.
Obviously, that's perfect.
Okay.
Day three, we were really focusing on some evergreen social content of the family for the resort, but we also had a pickup shot of them in the suite that Vince was reacting to in the hallway.
And action.
I can't say enough good things about Ron Parson and his family. They absolutely crushed it. Everything we threw at them, every change, every alteration, they rose to the challenge and were incredible.
We had the privilege to shoot in one of the Camelback suites. Super beautiful, huge place. And we set all these rooms up to show the enjoyable time that is possible to have at this resort. So we had them playing games and having fun, and the crew put on some music. I think everything came out really nice.
It's one of the best feelings in the world. It's a 3-day shoot. You have multiple location moves, and the entire crew jives so well together all 3 days.
Working at this beautiful location and making a commercial with all these industry professionals and artists, we had such a good time.
Honestly, this was one of the best shoots that I've ever been on. It was one of the best crews with just such good people. It was fun because everyone was great to work with and easy to work with, not just because we got to, play in the water slides at night.
Really?
We had a really quick turnaround in post-production, but because we had used our storyboards to create animatics that we could show to the client ahead of time, we had set ourselves up for a really smooth, seamless process. After some adjustments, the edits were locked and it was off to finishing for sound and color.
The goal is just try to make all the jokes happen and make all the scenes change. Anything extra, we jettisoned, and anything that helps tell the story, move it along, we reinforce and bring out. So we had to bring in some sound effects, had to make some sound effects so that we can get the wringing of water out of a shirt. So
what does Camelback have that I don't?
Thank you again to everyone involved, cast, crew, and Camelback Resort staff who helped us get what we need every single day of the shoot. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look behind the scenes of this Camelback Resort ad, and we'll see you soon.